Good evening, everyone. I have been wondering and really observing that we talk a lot about progress these days, about the future, about India becoming a $5 trillion economy, about satellite, AI, crypto, and whatnot. But today, I want to talk about something else, something that's happening quietly and silently. According to the recent National Family Health Survey, more than 50% of women of reproductive age in India are anemic. That means every second woman is functioning on less than optimal blood health, oftentimes without even knowing about it. This silent pandemic, this silent crisis, is hiding in plain sight. Because if half the population is running on half the fuel, how can we expect our families, community, nation to function at its full strength? It's almost like anemia has been normalized and turned invisible. And this question kept coming back to me that how did we end up here? In my quest to understand this, I found something remarkable. Anemia has been a persistent issue in India since independence. Despite over 50 years of campaigns, initiatives, the rates haven't budged much. The data is stark. 58% of women aged between 15 to 49 are anemic. 54% of pregnant women are also anemic, which leads to 20 to 40% of maternal death every year in India. This is when I realized this is not just a health problem, it's systemic. In so many homes, even today, women eat last, they eat what's left and the least nutritious part. So, as a whole, now we're talking about cultural hierarchy, food habits, gender roles, and also healthcare access. As I began exploring, I found out what the government was doing about it via providing iron and folic acid supplement, iron rich food, even tracked consumption via Anganwadi centers. I discovered several compelling interventions by other designers too. One was termed as life saving bindi, in which the glue was infused with the nutrient so that when the woman wore it, the nutrient could automatically be absorbed via skin. Another one was lucky iron fish, an small iron object shaped like a fish that could be put in the pot along with the food so the food could get infused via iron. These examples fairly illustrate how intervention can be more effective when they align with existing practices and our culture. My takeaway from this was that success of a health based intervention often not just depend on what is being delivered, but how and through what medium it is being delivered. This understanding made me want to find ways to connect health with everyday object. I explored combining iron and folic acid tablet and bindi packaging. I connected with local Anganwadi workers on ground. Through them, I tracked the exact same iron and folic acid tablet that was being distributed to the women. And then I began playing around with the packaging itself. Instead of creating an entirely new product, I focused on redesigning the packaging itself to be more culturally rooted. I took inspiration from a local bindi packet, designed a single intervention that could effortlessly fit into women's routine, used similar visual identity such as visual language, color, regional language cues without making it seem like a foreign object. But this idea was just the starting point. What about other everyday, ever present objects around us? How could they quietly support health? Objects such as clock, clothing, without making healthcare system a burden and introducing all these intervention to make it more natural and seamless. From a systems point of view, women have been systemically denied the space, time, resources to prioritize their own health. They are often the caregivers, but rarely cared for by the systems around them. Unfortunately, the story doesn't end here. Because you know what's even worse? It's not just about what women eat, it's also about how they cook. Today, 41% of India's population still relies on biomass fuel, such as wood, cow dung, crop waste. Even after massive initiatives by the government, only half the population of India can regularly use clean fuel. Half the population of rural India can use clean fuel. Wondering why? Because LPG cylinder is a luxury they cannot afford to refill. So they return back to wood fire, exposing themselves to indoor air pollution. Cooking, an act of love, has turned into a slow form of poisoning for them. Interestingly, I discovered in Kenya, sugarcane bagasse, a residue left after extracting sugarcane juice, was being turned into these eco friendly cooking bricks, which were then used as an alternative for these traditional cooking practices. These bricks are not only more sustainable, but also less harmful. And guess what? India is the third largest producer of sugarcane, generating a massive ton of this waste, which goes largely unused. And hence, it presents a unique opportunity to turn this waste into clean and alternative fuel for cooking. But the challenge, however, lies in using these residue to make them more adaptive to our cultural context. With our cultural stoves called chulas, the size and shape of these bricks need to adapt to fit these stoves. What I really learned from this was that design is not just about inventing new things, it's about reframing the ordinary in ways to create extraordinary change. It's about tapping into existing system and making them work more contextually. It's about recognizing a budding opportunity and making it work more contextually as per our local culture. The bindi isn't just a decoration. The stove isn't just a tool. These are potential sites for transformation. As we dream of $5 trillion economy, as we send rockets to the moon, let's not forget millions of women still cooking over smoky fire, still running on half the strength they deserve. If we want real progress, we have to fix these silent pandemics too. We have to design for trust. We have to design for the unseen, because sometimes the tiniest change can carry the heaviest change. Thank you.